other guy that does copies you, he's making a third mistake. And so for, for generations, 70s, 80s, 90s to now. But if you get a font book, or now you go on the internet and you get all the fonts and you learn certain styles, a couple of different ones, and then add your flavor to it, then you'll develop your own style, however you like it.
Before we get into how you created the legendary crew TKO, I want to ask you, when you have the name TOOMER, do you seek out and try to join other crews before creating TKO? Are you part of any other crews?
I wasn't really thinking about that. Graffiti was all about you getting you up. And again, I was really antisocial back then. I didn't really, talk to too many people. I think a lot of people think I'm a stuck-up dick, you know what I mean? Because I show up places and I'll talk to them. But it's not that I think I'm any better or I don't care for them. It's just I'm constantly thinking, My brain is constantly going. I'm thinking of the next project, the last project, and the future projects. So, I'm kind of like quiet when I go places. And unless I know you, and then I'm just, a chatterbox. But if I don't really know you that good, I just stay quiet and just start thinking.
In this early era of TOOMER, do you recall some of the other writers you see on the streets making noise in that time? Can you share a few names if you recall any?
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of writers, Triax comes into mind. He had a lot of stuff in downtown. I would see tags from Pale and Ware. I would see, just a bunch of NTS, all the NTSs, paint down there and, hit all the buses, and, RTD buses would be smacked.
In the documentary Infamy, the writer GK mentions how you were up all over downtown. You were up so much that it was a joke. Do you recall bombing downtown, and how would you catch so many spots back then?
Well, like I said, you gotta be committed. Go to jail or not go to jail, you just gotta do it. And I remember a time that I would stand in the middle of Broadway and just go like this all in one direction, and I'll be pointing out my name. That's when I knew I pretty much did a good job there. And LAPD, that Metro division really hated me, They had, undercovers right there walking around looking for me catching tags. But I would go in different times, sometimes daytime, early morning, late at night.
Why were you catching so many spots in downtown? Why were you hitting it so hard?
Well, downtown was the meeting point for all the RTD buses. So I would take a bus from where I lived to downtown and catch another one to another area, It was kind of like where all the buses stopped at in downtown. And then you could go to the west side, east side, north side, south side. So downtown was like the heart of the city for me, you may say. So I started there and I just walked around and I tried to blend into the homeless community that was there. At that point though, there was gangs down there, They didn't take kindly to you call me walking around, but after so many years of walking down there, give them a couple of cans, they'll be cool about it. They knew I wasn't in there dissing them. They knew I wasn't, bugging them or doing anything. I was just doing me,
How long would you be down there painting downtown? For hours? Would you go every day, only on the weekends? What was the strategy?
At one point I was going almost every day, and I would go until I ran out of paint. Back then there wasn't Home Depots or nothing. There was like this place called Standard Brands. And they had like these dollar silver chromes, And they had Krylon. We had Krylon. So I would wreck all the Krylon and get a couple of chromes and just go all over downtown LA and just smash.
Is downtown your favorite place in Los Angeles to write?
I mean,
what's your favorite area?
It just reminds me of, being a kid going down there and, shopping with my mom on Broadway. They had, all the stores that were there. They used to have these big green, containers where they sold magazines and stuff, and they had the big, tall teen angels. They were like this big. So I would, my mom didn't know what it was. She didn't know it was gang graffiti. She just saw art and teen angels, so she thought it was for kids, So I would ask her if I could buy one, and she said, yeah, And so I would open it up, and it was like all the gangs of LA, and there was low riding. There was like low riders in it, and it was cool, That was kind of like my first graffiti magazines was Teen Angels,
Did you ever try to get published in Teen Angel or submit some work in there?
No, I looked at it like that's for neighborhoods, that's for gang graffiti, That's where people go and they send in their blocks and their hood, and they post it up. And
As you mentioned, you're bombing downtown like crazy. You point to any spot on a corner and you're up. How would you get out of your house to go paint? Wasn't your family asking, where's Dr. Toombs?
well, my dad was gone at that point, and my mom was working, and she was raising my little brother and little sister. So, God bless her, she was so tired. She would just pretty much say, she would give me a benediction, like, kind of like pray over me and be like, please protect my child and tell me, to be careful. And I knew she wouldn't sleep if I didn't call her. So I would call her and be like, oh, I'm staying at a friend's house. Oh, I'll be there later. Please go to sleep. Don't stay up. And I will go out and paint. I've called her back then from San Francisco, from Oakland. She thought I was down the street at a friend's house, and I'd be hitting, all city and other states and other cities.